For Christmas this year, I asked for what most people nowadays don't usually ask for. And that was for a typewriter. I can't tell you if my desire came from Oliver Tate in the movie Submarine, or maybe the fact Woody Allen, the legendary filmmaker, has written all of his work on one for the past 40 years. This is a story about typewriters. I know it sounds lame and all, but the best use them, right? Sylvia Plath, William S. Burroughs, Hunter S. Thompson, Charles Bukowski, J.R.R. Tolkien, even musicians like Bob Dylan and Leonard Cohen. My love for vintage things is my main reasoning behind wanting one. Before I get into this, I think I'll let Hannah give you a brief history on typewriters.
The first idea of the typewriter came from Englishman Henry Mill in 1714, but the first ever built was the Italian Pellegrino Turri in 1808. Till this day, we don't have any idea what Turri's version looked like. The main creator who created the QWERTY keyboard format was still used today by Christopher Wunsch Scholz. He created the Scholz and Glidden typewriter, which began production in late 1873 and appeared in the American market in 1874. In the beginning of the first machines, only had capital letters. Then in 1891, the Daughtery Visible was the first French stroke typewriter to go into production. The T-bars rest below the plating and hit in front of it. With the Underwood of 1895, this style of typewriter began more dominant over the years. James Field Smathers of Kansas City invented the first practical power-operated typewriter in 1914. By 1941, IBM company began to revolutionize the typewriter industry by inventing the IBM Executive Electric Typewriter.
When trying to find my typewriter online, I had a hard time knowing which one to buy. Was the condition as good as they said? Does the brand matter? What type of ribbon will it need? I grew frustrated and eventually gave up. Until my stepdad went into an antique store and found an old 1949 Underwood typewriter. It seemed in pretty good condition. The only thing is that we thought it needed a new ribbon, maybe a good cleaning. We weren't any typewriter machinery masters, so my mom found an older gentleman in Bremerton, Washington.
Went up like a bomb. I think it was a brigadier general at the time. But I would spend my time going down into London and later on into Paris.
Robert Montgomery. His earliest memory of fixing typewriters was in first grade. His father was a prominent typewriter repairman in the Seattle area since the early 1900s. He worked as a typewriter and adding machine repairman as a teenager before getting drafted by the Army soon after the United States and joined World War II. The funny thing is that, if anything, his ability to repair typewriters probably saved his life. Every time Montgomery kept getting called for combat, he would get sent back to go fix typewriters for the Army. This led him to work in places such as the Allied headquarters in London, Versailles in France near Louis XIII's palace, and Frankfurt, Germany. After 2 years in service, he retired and went to work at his dad's typewriter shop in Bremerton. The business has since moved, but Montgomery has kept a shop in the neighborhood ever since. In his spare time, he helps out at the Bremerton Community Theater. In 1951, he began his 50-year career in acting there. Nowadays, he spends most of his time behind the stage directing or doing crew work. But his main passion has always been typewriters. He is literally an encyclopedia of typewriters.
In Paris, one of my jobs, they had another guy to repair the typewriters. He had no idea what he was doing. He used to come around at night and show, well, no, turning that screw won't work at all. But I would spend my time going down into London and later on into Paris to buy things for headquarters. One of them was, believe it or not, map pins. The week I got there, they'd had an accident in the map room. And what it was, the guy was a cigar smoker. He bumped at the insert, and the plastic they had over top of the map was flammable. The whole room went up like a bomb. Fortunately, it was one of these Quonset huts by itself, so nothing else except the map room went down. But he got out with a little more than hair singed or something like that. But it was I think it was a brigadier general at the time.
I can hear you through my window, but I'm never quite sure who is who. But they want the world on a dessert spoon. It always sounds like they're fighting, or as if that's what they're about to do. It might not hurt now, but it's gonna hurt soon.
Now let's flash back today. We have computers that type our essays, send our emails, letters, blah, blah, blah. Typewriters are more expressed as novelties and antiques for collectors, though people still use them now, mostly to people who want to pursue a career in writing. In my opinion, it's a more of a hands-on approach, but they are not dead. The manual typewriter has the privilege of being more portable, saves on energy compared to an electrical one, and a computer. Some say that typewriters help you think more about what you're writing than a computer that has distractions with social media websites and emails. Do I ever think the typewriter will ever die? I don't think so. At least I hope not. In a New York Daily News article, a man who sold typewriters said this: they have their computers, they have their Blackberries or iPads or whatever it is, but they still would like to have a typewriter. They like the idea of pressing the keys and having the words hit the paper. Yeah, maybe that's why I like them.